Hey guys, so I just landed from Israel and I wanted to chat for a little bit. You know, people keep making jokes, oh, what are all the activists going to do now that the living hostages are home and the war is over? Stella, my daughter, who's not even 13 years old, was just asking me, Mommy, is anti-Semitism going to get better now because the war is over? And here's the thing. Anti-Semitism has been hiding out under this mask of anti-Zionism, where all this energy has been placed on accusing Israel of genocide and oppression and carpet bombing and you name it. Now that people won't be able to do that, the blindfold will be lifted and you will see that all of that energy will be placed on just accusing Jews around the world. Mark my words. And I say all of this because all of us who have been advocating on behalf of Israel, on behalf of Jews around the world, are about to get busier than ever. You know, we have this election for mayor coming up here in New York City in less than a month. I just watched the full interview of Zohran Mamdani with Martha on Fox, where he refuses to say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up all political power. He doesn't feel like he has an opinion about that. Interesting for a guy who certainly has an opinion about a lot of things, including arresting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, including boycotting Israeli products in the city. It's interesting that he doesn't have an opinion on whether or not a terrorist regime who murdered, raped, kidnapped innocent civilians should remain in power. It doesn't take much digging to see where he comes from and, you know, who he's married to. His wife is an artist who specializes in anti-Israel propaganda with her art. And, you know, we're seeing this trend of anti-Semitism become normalized, not just from the far left, from people like Zohran Mamdani, but on the far right as well. It's everywhere. And it's going to only get worse because it's becoming more and more normalized in our society. But what does this mean for all of us right now? If we live in New York City, it means that we have an obligation to vote for Governor Andrew Cuomo to be our next mayor. Now, you guys know I have not been secretive at all about Cuomo not being my first choice. We have one candidate who cannot condemn Hamas, who cannot say that Hamas should no longer be in power. And we have another candidate who does believe that Israel has a right to exist. Unfortunately, while I do like Curtis Lewa, he does not have a chance at winning this election. It is just delusional to think that he actually has a shot. It really is throwing our vote away to vote for him. In fact, I think it's very selfish of him to remain in this race, and I wish that he would drop out. Sometimes in life, we are faced with choices that just suck. You know, there is no great, perfect choice here, but we have to make the choice that is in the best interest of all of us. That being said, if Zohran Mamdani does win this election, there's a very good chance that he will. We are going to have our work cut out for us like we have never seen before in our lifetimes as Jews in New York City. Whatever happens in New York City reverberates in the rest of this country, and we will very quickly be seeing what we're seeing in the UK and in France happening here in the United States. If you visit Israel right now, like I just did, you meet tons of Brits and French people who have just made Aliyah. Yes, they love Israel, but they moved because they saw that they had no safe future for their children, for their children's children in their countries. And that is what could happen here. Very concerned about the extremes with both parties. We're not moving in a good direction. And I do believe that the future for Jews in the United States is uncertain and the clock is ticking. And if we want to prolong that, if we want to fight to feel safe, to continue to thrive in this country, first order of business is every New Yorker needs to vote for Cuomo for mayor, and we'll just take it from there. Anyway, we still have a fight ahead of us. We still have deceased hostages that need to be brought home to Israel for proper burials. We still have a city to save and a country to save. So I hope we all enjoyed our little sigh of relief and our little rest, because it is time to get back to work.